All right. Bobby Martin's here with eXp Realty here in San Diego, and I am proud to have none other than our state broker, Deborah Penny, who has been an absolutely outstanding state broker. So welcome, Deborah. How you doing today?
Very good. Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for coming on. Really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day. And so, I asked you to do this interview because I wanted people to really get to know you and get to know our state broker. I've been in this business almost 20 years, and I've had probably about 5 or 6 different brokers, and they've all been great. I've been in a good offices, or really great offices actually. Remax La Jolla and Keller Williams, Carmel Valley, both high-end markets, with very, very good state brokers or broker of records, I should say. But you really stand out to me because of your level of commitment to training. Particularly, I see what you're doing online with everybody, doing these weekly contracts classes, and you really seem to be obsessed with teaching agents the contracts, which from day one, that was something that I really liked about you. So anyway, so tell us a little bit about yourself. What how long you've been in real estate, and maybe what companies have you worked with?
I got my license in April of '89, and I started out with Coldwell Banker.
Okay.
And I remember being in their Fast Start class. Hadn't even walked into the office and gotten a desk yet, but I was in Fast Start for 3 weeks. And I remember the whispers, the market's changing. And not in a good way. It had peaked and it was headed down. And so that's what I cut my teeth on in real estate, were short sales and REOs.
Oh, wow.
So I've worked for a few big companies, and then I had my own company for about 5 years. And then went over to KW. I was the broker there for 8 years for 2 of their offices. And then came to eXp.
Awesome. And how has been the transition so far?
I love eXp. I love eXp.
Tell me what brought you here. What were some of the main things that made you decide to come here?
Well, I was approached a few years ago, and timing just wasn't right. I wasn't interested. Change is scary.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I just hit a place where I wasn't happy, and I wasn't feeling challenged, and I wasn't feeling supported. And so I called my friend back up, and I said, "Tell me about eXp again." and we talked, and he started putting me with amazing people. One of my first calls was with Vicki Bartholomew, president at the time.
Love her. She was so awesome.
Yeah, and then I met with Jason Gessing and Sam Rodriguez down in San Diego. And then I had calls with a couple of other people, and I thought, this is a fact-finding mission. That's how I was looking at it. I'm just curious.
Mm-hmm.
Well, from the point of I'm just curious to actually joining the company was less than 3 months.
Okay.
And so I joined the company in June of 18. And then just, it goes from there.
Right after me, I was March of 2018. And so, the first few months for me, I was a little concerned because not to name names, but the previous broker, he was spread thin. And so, the communication wasn't there. And so it was definitely a concern, but you have completely changed all of that. Like, I can get a hold of you so easily in different means too, whether it be on workplace chat, which I'm always shocked at how quickly you respond there. you know, with text messaging, email, by going into the broker cloud, either you're there or someone is always there. And so that's been a game changer, because I remember when I first started going into the world office going, well, this isn't that great because no one's in here, you know, as far as the broker office. And so actually I shouldn't say no one was in there. Lisa Wilson was in there at the time. And so she was a godsend. She would always point me in the right direction. And so, but things have just completely 100-degree change from that point. And now there's so many different people in there that can help us. And so, so it's really awesome that we have so many different ways to get a hold of you. And, you know, the thing that other brokerages used to hold over agents' head, you know, that were going over to eXp was, oh, it's hard to get a hold of the broker, you know, all those things. That is squashed with you 100%. And so that's one thing that I've been very happy about. And then the level of knowledge that you have is unlike any other. I mean, I thought I knew a lot about real estate, and in my conversations with you, I've really you know, learned a lot more. So I love talking with you about real estate, and I'm so happy that you're our broker. What are some of the things that you love most about being the state broker?
It's never boring. Never boring. I get bored, and yeah, that's not a good thing ever. I just get myself in trouble when I'm bored. There's a new challenge every day. There's something that really stretches my mind every day. I've got an amazing team of people that I am privileged to work with.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a one-person show. This team is made up of so many amazing people who keep things going on a daily basis. And we have a shared vision. That's what's wonderful about it. There's a shared vision. And you'll hear the term agent success obsessed.
Mm-hmm.
And we are. It's, you know, an agent reaches out. We know they wouldn't reach out if they didn't need something.
Mm-hmm.
Probably need it yesterday. So the goal is to get back with an agent as fast as possible. Because if they're like me, they're just going to worry about whatever it is until they get an answer that makes sense. So we want to make sure that those answers get out there as quickly as possible, and that they're solid answers. Getting to do that, getting to work with great agents every day. I mean, we're 122 agents away from our 3,000 agent goal.
Wow.
About that.
Okay.
So, I have a tendency to set a goal, and then right before we reach the goal, I'm setting a new goal. And my team knows that I'm not telling them about a new goal right now, because I need to make sure that I stop and we celebrate that goal.
Mm-hmm.
So I just keep plowing forward. So we're getting so close. We're hoping that by end of this week or next week, we've made that goal and we can set the new goal. We're bringing in so many amazing people in the state right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the talent in these agents is just above and beyond. So
yeah,
those types of things, that's what keeps me going every day.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's incredible news that we're going to be crossing 3,000. I was about to ask you that. And, you know, when I joined the company nationwide, it was just under 7,000. And so we had just crossed 7 basically when I joined. And so to hear that just in this state alone that we're at 3,000, and I know we're close to the 25,000 mark as a company, which is just fantastic. And you know, the level, like you said, the level of talent that I'm seeing coming in for the last really 2 years has been incredible. Not just in our state, but nationwide. You know, there's so many trainers, so many coaches that have been coaching real estate for a couple decades, that are all recognizing that this is really the brand that is for the real estate professionals that are also entrepreneurs who have been in the business a long time, that can that know what they're doing, but wanted a new platform to really grow their business and take it to that next level. And I think eXp really does that. And there's so many different options. There's something for everyone here. If you just want to sell real estate, you can just sell real estate and do amazing. If you want to build a big team nationwide and grow that up, to be a huge thing, you could do that too. So, or if you just want to coach agents, that's that option is there. And obviously, the option is to be a state broker. Which, are you guys still looking for someone here in San Diego to be the broker?
Absolutely. And if you have a great candidate you'd like to put forward, have them apply by all means. We need a new managing broker for the San Diego area. Actually, they'd be covering San Diego, Imperial County, Riverside, and San Bernardino County.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's great.
We're really excited about the fact that we are growing so fast that we need new managing brokers.
How many is the state up to now?
We have 3 managing brokers currently, and myself as the designated broker. And the real beauty of all of this is that I'm not on an island by myself.
Mm-hmm.
It really is a team. You hear that a lot out there, and it's like, yeah, everybody says that. It really is a team. And I don't have to have all the answers. I just have to have wonderful people around me that know what I don't know, and that's the case. Mm-hmm. It's very collaborative.
Yeah, that's one that I love that word, and that's the biggest thing that I've noticed about this company more than any other that I've worked at is the collaboration. It's very real. It's open. Instead of the normal office meetings and sharing that you see in traditional offices where agents are competing against each other, and then they're asked to be on a panel and say, hey, what's working for you? And they're looking out at a room filled with agents taking notes about every little thing that you do. Naturally, if you don't have an incentive to share, you're not going to give people the nuts and bolts that really run your business. And I've been asked to do these panels year after year for many years, and I never really gave away all of my secrets. I would give away kind of I get a lot of sphere of influence business, or I get business from Facebook and all these things. But I would never tell people how I really got that business or what it took to get it. And with eXp, it's been completely different. I tell everybody everything that I'm doing. I'm sharing the nuts and bolts. I'm giving away all of that information to people, and so it's just a higher level of sharing, because we all benefit, because of our stock model, because of the revenue share model, that really allows me to be compensated for my time and for sharing the secrets that have made me successful over the years. So yeah, I mean, the collaboration is definitely real, and I love that about this company. I mean, there's so many things that I do love about it, but that's probably the biggest one. Now, as far as 2020, we're right around the corner. There's a lot of shifting happening in the market. What are some of the main initiatives that you're planning for this new year?
Well, as we continue to grow, which we will, it's bringing more value to the agent. Always going to be about the agents and making sure that the agents can go out there, do their job, feel confident, have a great knowledge base, and be protected. Mm-hmm. So bringing more classes in, collaborating with more of our talented agents to bring great things to the table. We've got people out there that have never thought about teaching. Mm-hmm. And we're starting to pull them in and say, but you're great at this. Share. Other agents need to hear how you came to be where you are now.
Mm-hmm.
And some of these agents don't think that what they've done is amazing, but it is. And you never know when you teach a class who's going to be touched,
Mm-hmm.
and how they're going to be touched. Maybe you've got a very shy person sitting in that class because, I just don't know if I can do all of the things that I'm hearing from a very, open and bubbly person.
Mm-hmm.
They've got a more reserved style, and yet they're hearing from somebody who says, hey, I don't have to be a party in a box.
Mm-hmm.
I can, I'm reserved, I'm a little introverted, I can go out there, and if I can do this, then you can too.
Mm-hmm.
And it gives that hope, and then they're sharing how they've done it, which may be very different from how that extroverted person goes out and goes to every party, every social event known to man. Not me.
That sounds like me. That sounds like me. A big chunk of my business comes from social networking and business networking and so forth. And so, yeah, so I definitely get that. And, have you noticed that with the cloud-based training that we're doing in the cloud as avatars, have you noticed that person who maybe is a little shy is willing to share and willing to actually ask questions and things like that? That's one thing I've really noticed about that. And truthfully, like at an office meeting, I normally in the past, I was not that one to like ask a billion questions and really participate a lot. I'd kind of show up, be in the back of the room, take a few notes, and leave. But with these meetings, I find that it's a lot more interactive, because you're just an avatar and a voice. And so you can just share, you can ask questions. And so that's one thing that I really love about the online training, especially the training you're doing with the contracts classes. I mean, I can't, if I contact my assistant during your contracts class, she will not respond to me. Like I have to wait until after because she tells me, hey, sorry, I'm doing this. And
she's front row in that class every week.
Yeah, I know. I love it. And what's great about that is, obviously I can't do that every week, but she can. And then she takes what she learned that week and she brings it back to our entire team. And so that way we really are staying on top of everything. And so then that way, obviously we stay out of trouble because that's the name of the game. It's all about risk management, cannot get sued. Thankfully, I've never been arbitration, mediation, never gotten sued in 18 years of doing this. And I want to stay that way, not just for myself, but for the sake of my clients. I don't want my clients to have to endure a problem transaction. And, most people just don't understand, that it takes a lot of energy to stay out of court. It takes a lot of knowledge to stay out of court. So, so it's definitely something that I appreciate a lot. That and what's good about what you're doing too is you're allowing us to leverage you and to teach our team for us, which allows me more time to go out there and actually service my clients. And so that's another thing that I love about the eXp model is that there's a lot of leverage happening and we can share our knowledge. Like you said earlier, everybody can kind of share what they're good at and all of us can kind of take the pieces that we like from everybody. And I've always done that with my career and it's really helped. But so now let me ask you this. If you were a new agent getting into the business, what would be some of the things that you would focus on in 2020?
Well, the very first thing I would do is I would learn the techniques needed for time blocking.
Okay.
Time block the heck out of that schedule and then be disciplined enough to stick to the schedule. If you don't have a job, meaning if you don't have transactions, your job is to get a job. Your job is to get a transaction. That's your job. So you may be doing 3 hours of concentrated lead generating a day. It may be 5 to 8 hours. It's going to vary. But until you have that business, your job is to lead generate.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have a schedule and learn to follow the schedule, as you build your business, it's going to implode because you don't have that sense of organization.
Yep.
Not everybody has an Emily. So until you have an Emily, you have to depend on yourself to be disciplined enough to get that done. And then building into that time block schedule would also be classes. You have to have that knowledge base. But such and such told me I could do it this way. Well, are you sure you're learning it the right way?
Mm-hmm.
If you do it this way, and there's some kind of a complaint file, be it with the board or the DRE, how are you going to fare with that? So building in the lead generating time and the class time to get yourself going. Those are the two biggest things that I think a brand new agent can do to get their business off the ground and give it a solid foundation. And you can tell I'm passionate about that.
Yeah. No, that's great advice, because what I've seen a lot over the years is people get into the business and they focus so much on just the lead gen or whatever. But I find that if you're doing both of lead generation, but also knowledge base, like you said, that to me gives you the confidence. And when you have the confidence, then it's like you talk to that lead or you talk to that client, you have the confidence to basically say, no, you're wrong, and this is why you're wrong, and this is why you should do it this way, or you're able to at least talk intelligently about the different options that they may have. Obviously, it's up to them to make their choice, but that to me was the biggest difference. When I got in the business, I really focused on getting as many designations as I could get. I mean, I went to every single class I could. I was working 60, 70 hours a week in the first 3 to 4 years in the business because of that extra training that I was doing. And people kept saying, why do you have to do all that? Just who cares? Just go out and sell. And I'm like, you know what? That's not what I'm about. I want to learn this business the right way, do it the right way, and make sure that my clients are in the best possible negotiation position. And so sometimes that's completely different than what the real estate coaches out there teach. Because a lot of the real estate coaches are teaching things that are in the best interest of the agent, not necessarily the best interest of the client. And so to me, that's not okay. Our fiduciary duty is to the client 100%. And so I really focused my initial years on learning the right way to do it, and put the client's needs in front of our needs at all times. And I feel like it's done well for me. People say designations don't matter. I completely disagree. I think that it's a degree of separation from a knowledge base, but then also people see, the little alphabet soup behind your name, and they say, okay, you know what, that guy or girl took the time to go out and get the extra things that make them better. And you hit the nail on the head with the time blocking. That's the one thing that I keep teaching over and over and over again is time blocking. And because that's the name of the game. Now, some people say, well, Bobby, I did my 2 hours of prospecting today. Well, you may have done that, but you have 0 deals in escrow. So like you said earlier, it might be 5 hours or it might be 8 hours of prospecting. You prospect until you get a deal, or you put a deal together. And so, so some people just don't have that aptitude. They just want to do the 2 hours of prospecting and then go play golf or do something else, and hope that the next day the prospecting pans out in that 2 hours. But you got to just keep pounding and pounding the pavement until you find that deal, because they're out there, and it's either you that's going to get it or it's going to be someone else that gets it. And the way I look at it is, if they're going to be buying or selling a house, they need the best possible representation, and that's me. And so I'm going to have to work hard to get that interview, get that appointment. And, sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But if you don't take the shot, you never score. So very, very important.
Yeah, if you don't you can look at the business one of two ways. We all know those agents out there that are constantly doing one deal, and then, they're starting over. They're always starting over.
Mm-hmm.
There's either so much time between the deals that they're basically new every time they do it, or they're not cultivating those clients and making those clients feel that, hey, I'm going to take care of you. I'm always going to take care of you.
Mm-hmm.
And so those clients feel comfortable. They're going to always come back. They're going to refer their friends and family. So you can just keep reinventing the one transaction over and over again, or you build your business up with that knowledge base and that credibility, so that those referrals are doing the heavy lifting for you down the road.
Yeah.
And
so
referral
important.
business is the best business in the world, and you're not going to get that referral business unless you're giving that value, and people feel that value and know how much you care about them and their family and their specific situation. Real estate has certain formulas to it, but it's not cookie cutter. Everybody's situation is different.
Yeah.
And so those are things that new and returning agents, we want to make sure that they have those classes where they're learning these things, where it's just they leave the classroom and they go out there and they feel like they can conquer the world.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you not want to work with me?
Yeah.
I want agents that say that, I'm solid, I'm going to take care of you, and I know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. When you can display that in a confident manner, where it's coming out just as, just like normal talk, it's such a difference maker. Because, you hear in real estate a lot, oh, you got to master the scripts and all that stuff. I've never been a script guy. I've read all the scripts and I know all the scripts, but I tweak the scripts to the benefit the client. And I even educate the clients on what these scripts are being taught out there. Because again, it's not, a lot of it is not in the best interest of the clients, it's in the best interest of the agent. And there's a lot of gimmicks in this business. And so I am teaching all those gimmicks to my clients so that they don't fall for the trap of there's so many different things. I don't want to even, we could do a whole nother webinar on this, but there's just a lot of things changing. And to the average consumer, they may look at it and say, oh, this looks great. But, us as agents need to be able to talk intelligently about all of these new changes. And that's something that, it's not going away. There's always going to be changes, and we have to adapt as agents and as buyers and sellers out there. And so, it's, some of this stuff is good. Some of it is really bad though. So we have to just be careful. So. But, well, thank you so much. I really appreciate the time today, and I'm super excited that you are our state broker, and I'm glad that the whole world will get to meet you now. So anyways, but thank you so much for joining me today and sharing your eXp experience.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.